What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody's having an excellent weekend. I apologize for not cranking out a lot of content over the last week or so. I actually coach and train fighters, and we had 3 guys that fought last night in Atlantic City. So the last couple of weeks, the training kind of ramps up and time becomes limited. And then I really didn't have a chance to keep up with the latest news. So I don't want to come on here and kind of talk about stuff and be kind of outdated. So I apologize for that. But as draft time comes up, we'll be doing a lot more coverage. Also, I want to thank Green Bean, too, who invited me on his show, and I had a blast, man. His show was super cool. So if you're not following him, please do and check out his show. They do a really good job. A lot of X's and O's, a lot of humor, so I had a blast. I want to thank him for that. So with the draft, there are so many different takes with the Jets. They have 4 picks in the top 38, a tremendous opportunity to improve the roster for this year and for the years to come. So the biggest conversation is, what do you do at 4? What do you do at 10? Is it best player available, or do you address a need? And I think this is going to be a fascinating approach by the New York Jets, because it's going to be very telling. Because if you go, just say in theory, the first 3 picks are pass rushers. At pick 4, do you go with, you say, pass rusher is an enormous need. Do you go with potentially your 3rd best pass rusher on your board, or your number 1 corner, or your number 1 safety, or your number 1 offensive lineman? The tackle will be there. How do you handle it? Or do you say, we don't really feel comfortable with this. Let's trade back and get more value. And that's even at number 10. You say, hey, there's a player sitting there. You have your number 1 receiver on the board, but then you have a guy that falls, like a pass rusher sitting there. How do you handle all that? And I think it's going to be fascinating. And as we speak today, it's like April, whatever it is, 3rd, 4th, I still like to see pass rusher, receiver in the 1st round, as I think they're the most pressing needs. Now, I respect the need that you say, we need corner help. To me, it's like, I want pass rush, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. If I can even say it, because that's the most important way to hide your secondary, to hide your coverage, is hit the quarterback, especially in this AFC. As for the wide receiver position, I know Tyrone, we've been arguing the last couple of weeks about not going receiver at 10. I just think it's an enormous need. Now, I'm not going to discount Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore could be a breakout star and an incredible talent, but I want as many explosive pieces on the field as humanly possible. I want game-breaking talent on the field, on offense and on defense. That's where the edge rusher comes in, a disruptive player, and then a wide receiver comes in where it's you can just say, if God forbid Elijah Moore goes down, you have other pieces here where you can keep going full speed ahead. Now, I understand some people are saying, Braxton Berrios could play a big role, and that's great. But have 5 good receivers, have depth, have talent, legitimate talent the opposing defense has to worry about. So, other than that, you mentioned corner, you mentioned, safety. I think linebacker is a big need as well. And you want to add athleticism on defense and just see where you go from there. But I think it's going to be really interesting. Everybody keeps predicting a trade before the draft where the Jets are going to get a big marquee receiver. You see all the A.J. Browns kind of putting things out on Twitter, which could actually be personal stuff, not related to even football. But, there are some rumblings where, teams could have a hard time, giving A.J. Brown the money he wants, or paying DK Metcalf the money he wants. There's a couple articles in Seattle saying, they may not be able to afford him. So this is going to be, the next couple of weeks are going to be wild. You're going to have teams leaking stories. You're going to have agents leaking stories. You're going to have players climbing, rising the charts faster than anything. And if you're a Jet fan, you want to see a quarterback just be, everybody want him, and have a quarterback pick in the top 10 or one in the top 10. That helps the Jets. And then you're going to see all the weird stories about Thibodeau, man, where he was a consensus, top 3, top 2 pick. And now there's some saying he could fall out of top 10 because there are sources saying that scouts don't like his work ethic. They don't like his mindset. They think he quits on plays. So it is going to be there's so much speculation, so many rumors, and then you mix in all the clickbait shit too as well. So it's just a wild time. So if you want, I'm not going to give you, I'll be completely transparent with you guys. I'm not a draft guru by no means. I'm not a draft expert. I can't tell you what running back in the 5th round to take. I know enough to be dangerous. So if you guys have insight when you call into the show, share it. Drop your knowledge and share it with us. I know Kevin and Tyrone know a lot more than I do. I'm more of a free agent kind of guy. But, it's just share your thoughts. And the most what I want to hear most about is best player available versus addressing a need. And to me, it's I don't think the Jets are in a position to go best player available, because I think they need guys that you can draft and play now. Just say, for example, if they draft a tackle, what does that mean? You have a guy there that do you try to trade Becton then? Or you have him sit here and just kind of mold him for the future? How do you handle that? You trade Fant? It's to have an abundance of riches at a certain position when you have glaring needs at other spots, to me, is probably not the best way to go. I probably should have said this earlier, but I'm really tired. But that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like a tackle may not make sense when you have it. Like taking a guard. I mean, a guard you have Tomlinson and Vera Tucker. Do you really need a guard right now? It's just, it's like I'd rather go get guys that can play now. The other player is Jamison Williams, the receiver, where it's like, all right, you saw the video. Everybody saw the video of how he's very athletic. He's looking very good. Like, the chance he can be ready for training camp. But it's like, is he going to be, are you getting a full year of him this year? Or is it going to be a very slow, a slow time coming back? And then maybe you see a better version of him next year. Or maybe not at all. And that, I think, is a risk the Jets may not be able to take. Like, you kind of need the guy that can play now, start now, grow at Zach Wilson out, and just take off. You may not have the time to say, we're gonna wait for him to be patient. Again, another tough choice for Joe Douglas. So share your thoughts. I appreciate it. Again, apologize for not putting out content. It's just been a really, really busy time, and I'll talk to you later.